This is a stagger stance deadlift with a rear toe elevation and an ipsilateral load. Now you need a slant board or something that you can elevate your toes on. Ideally something that you can get your whole foot flat on. If you can't, something like a small fractional plate or a book will work. But like I said, ideally something you can get the whole foot flat on. This is a 10-degree angle as well. So we're going to set up in a stagger stance position with the rear foot with the toe elevated, and then that front foot kind of lined up with toes along midfoot, somewhere in between from this position here, midfoot, toes lined up with midfoot to the back of the toes. You don't want to be too far staggered apart here. Now we're going to hinge back into our hips, and as I do that, I'm going to really draw that front knee forward. What that will do is it will shift my pelvis to point towards that back leg. So as opposed to just being straight back, if I really draw that knee forward, I'm pointing my pant zipper towards that back leg. So I'm going to hold the weight on the same side that the toes are elevated here. Really pay attention to the breathing. Now I'm heavy on that back foot here. I'm going to exhale as I initiate the movement by hinging through the hips. Remember, I'm drawing that front knee forward. When I get to about knee height or just below knee height, I'm going to breathe in. And then I'm going to exhale as I come up. Really referencing and staying heavy on that back heel. Got about like an 80-20 or 70-30 split, maybe even a bit more. From the other side, so you can get a different angle here. Shoulders slightly packed, right? Exhale. Weight stays nice and close to me. Inhale. As I inhale, and when I get into this position, I can feel quite a bit of stretch on that back hip and some air going into my back. Exhale. As I come up, I stand up tall, but I don't hyperextend through that motion. Exhale. Drawing that knee forward still. Inhale. Exhale on the way up. Now we really want to keep that weight close. We don't want it to get too far away from us because then we'll start to round through our back in that position. And we also want to make sure from the back angle that our hips stay in line. It's really easy for us to kind of hike out, so make sure that you keep the hips in line. If you're having trouble with that, you can even do the same thing and set up against a wall, so that's kind of your barrier to make sure that your hips stay in the same plane of motion.